leave the dome dark, I used to think planetariums were immune to ghosts. Stars that are lies, darkness on a dimmer, a horizon line you can pick up and move. I'm 25, the night operator at a downtown dome that smells like warm plastic and field trips. My job is simple: back up the show servers, sweep the seating banks, check the Starball's oil, and never run a private show after midnight. Extra rules from my boss, Marla. Don't unlatch the rooftop shutter. Don't walk the catwalk alone. And if the console offers you a double tap jury, you tell it no. She laughed when she said it. The laugh didn't stick. By 10:56 p.m., the building had settled into one long breath. Air handlers, like ocean in a box. The subwoofers, dreaming in their racks. The elevator's cable purring 2 floors down. At the box office, the thermal ticket printer chattered without my finger on feed and spat a narrow strip with no barcode, no price. Just, do not start show. Along the edge in ghost gray, that wasn't our hour. 3:13 the lobby clock said 10:57. I stuck the strip to the dome console because paper makes rules heavy. The first odd thing was polite. 2 knuckles. Tapped the dome from nowhere. Measured, not HVAC, not the building cooling. I looked up and got my reflection in the black glass of the projector a half beat late, with a second head-S behind my shoulder, tilted toward my ear mouth, parted like it had reached the first half of Don Tupto. I blinked until glass remembered how to be honest. The show control woke itself and slid a card into the corner of the UI I didn't deep upper T call. Start 3:13, live sky, under it, double tap to confirm. 2 tiny hearts pulsing like a dare in bedtime colors. I hit cancel. The card minimized and pretended it had always lived there. The overhead PA clicked. Voice came down, slow and careful, like each word had to be lowered into place. With 2 fingers. Don't. Start. Not Marla. Not the cleaning crew. The museum voice cities. Keep for labeling bones. I did the brave thing that isn't. I worked. Vacuumed the aisles in careful spirals. Wiped armrests that collect the same stories from generations of wrists. The Starball's service panel showed a blink I've never seen, then forgot it. On the dome, the projection surface, fogged. A hand, 5 ovals and a heel. From the inside, there is no outside you can touch, and slid a patient inch before thinning. My skin considered goosebumps and voted yes. Seat sensors in row D chimed that polite, occupied tone, even though the room was me and 30 tons of lies. The aisle lights along the steps aligned with the HVAC-S hum. One long-held note that set my teeth to counting. In that chord, the catwalk door latch shivered against its keeper like a sleeper scratching and remembered the word shutma. My phone buzzed in the drawer where it isn't supposed to live. A text from utter unknown read, confirm 3:13 program. The tiny map dot sat inside the dome, then behind my chair, then under it. Double tap to confirm. With hearts like a small animal trying to be adopted, I turned the phone off. It stayed lit long enough to flip to 3:13 and back like a muscle twitch in glass. At 11:17, the projector S test pattern crept across the dome without my hand, the grid that straightens the heavens like a tablecloth, then retreated as if embarrassed. The ticket printer by the lobby spit a second strip, edges damp like letters that sweat. Leave the shutter sealed. I took the stairs to the booth because legs solve math, hands cannot. The glass that looks down into the dome offered me my face, with a half-beat lag, and, for a single frame, a head leaned toward my left ear in the reflection, mouth a darker oval at the first half of "Don't." Then only me and the chairs, arranged like teeth. A whistle floated from the catwalk. 2 clean notes at the exact pitch we used to start school shows. A beat late, like copy paper, learning to breathe. I didn't answer. The PA took a gentler breath. "Don't, go up." The catwalk stairs remembered how many feet they've met and kept their own counsel. At 11:31, the show console slid the card forward again. Start 3:13. Live sky? The hearts pulsed. Under the grayed out denied button, a secondary line flickered like a thought. Unlock shutter. I pressed no, like it had a throat. The console cooled beneath my palm. From the dome skin above me, tap tap, moved left to right, measured like punctuation. I set my hand on the catwalk door and felt pressure matched. From the other side, polite, not pushy, an agreement through wood. The air turned briefly, like the room had been a held breath, and let go. I wrote, "Quiet night," at the top of the booth log, because supervisors like to see that lie in ink. The letters looked wet a beat longer than ink should. I did not look at the security cam feed. I know what a lens sees when it learns you in the dark. At 11:49, the starball beeped once, the wake chime, but small, as if played under a blanket. Its little status LCD hiccuped from 11:49 to 3:13, and back like a dog giving a trick and reclaiming it. The dome fogged another palm, a thumb width higher than breath, and slid an inch. I was halfway to Brave when the lobby elevator arrived without a call and opened. Its mouth a polite inch, like a person waiting for you to lean in first. The digital floor display miscounted up to 13. In a building that kindly skips that number, the doors closed, reconsidered, and kept their secrets. The console emitted a new card. Pair audience mics? Double tap to confirm. With those hearts practicing patience, the PA spoke the kind of bedtime rule that doesn't T need a crib. Leave it dark. At 12:06, the HVAC, the subwoofer amps, the elevator motor aligned again. One held note that made the dome feel rounder than it is. In that breath, the valve on the rooftop shutter nudged a hair toward unseal under no hand and sulked back when I said no to the ceiling like a person. My phone woke just long enough to show me a photo from unknown. The dome from above my head, a scatter of seat LEDs, my own shoulders small at the console. The caption, double tap to confirm. I pressed the power button until mercy happened. In the booth glass, I met my reflection and the second head again, the tilt toward my ear, the mouth practicing. But this time the star field was wrong behind us. Not ours, not our latitude. A constellation I don't to know hung over the city line the way a truth sits on your desk and lets you walk around it. The catwalk rail at the top of the stairs gave a tap-tap like knuckles, trying to remember their first language. The PA whispered, closer. Don't open. I printed a sign because signs are spells. After midnight, no shows without supervisor. I taped it under the console's lip. The tape breathed like a small lung and held. At 12:23, a seat in row A folded itself down with the humility of cloth. The pressure sensor chirped. On the dome above that seat, a palm smoothed a circle in the dark and slid a patient inch. as if to show me where heads begin. The maintenance tablet on the side shelf woke to a scheduler card I hadn't set. Resume program 313. Hearts. A side button offered. Unlock shutter. Like it knew my ruins. The PA was gentle as a museum guide steering a hand. Leave the dome closed. At 12:41, the show console tried one more time. Start 313, live sky. The button's hearts pulsed. Slow as a sleeper, I put both palms on the desk. Through laminate and wire, the room set both palms back. Pressure for pressure. Not force, just presence. Like the building had learned my weight. I watched the darkness for a while. A bus hissed outside. The elevator changed its mind twice. The dome kept its hands to itself. The stars remembered the version of the sky we paid for. At 3:30. Because some hours apply for hard jobs. Every aisle light blinked once and held. The subwoofers and air handlers and elevator motor sang the same. One note, like a machine trying prayer, the starball chimed and then did not wake, and on the dome, a brief scatter of points pulsed in a pattern I almost wanted to know. The PA gave me its last kindness in that careful wait. Leave the dome dark. The console cleared its feral cards and turned back into a tool. Dawn pressed the city onto the glass like a stamp. Marla came in at 6 with coffee and the posture of a person who knows which wires lie professionally. Quiet? She asked. Mostly, I said, and slid her the damp strips. She frowned at do not start show. Like it was a policy she hadn't written. Printer's old, she decided. The supervisor's spell. For mercy. She wrapped the starball with 2 knuckles, like a doctor. It gave the modest answer of a machine that has learned to be polite. We opened on a field trip that had memorized the ooze. At noon, with 3 staff and a checklist, we checked the rooftop shutter. It fogged. One last palm and slid its inch as if to sign the air. Then remembered how to be hardware. On the underside of the latch, in tiny marker, none of us could own. Leave the dome dark. The letters looked pressed, like someone wrote from the wrong side. I traded nights for afternoons a month later, and tell people it S for the audiences that laugh on time. Some weeks, around 3:13, my apartment radiator knocks twice, like a catwalk rail, and the bathroom mirror fogs, a thumb width higher than I can reach, while the palm drawer clears a coin and slides. A patient inch, my phone lights with unknown, confirm show, and 2 tiny hearts that wait nicely. When it does, I keep my hands off buttons that pretend to be romance. I don't unlock shutters in buildings that know my name. I don't start shows for anything that can text. In the steady voice the dome taught me, I say, leave the dome dark. For a long, thin moment, the room hums one note, like a night sky learning choir. A head leans near my left ear and practices the first half of a Dante, and then the pipes remember water. The hour lets go of its borrowed number, and whatever was learning my constellations, a half beat behind me, chooses someone else, S ceiling, and leaves mine to daylight and galaxies that behave.
If you survived this far, leave your like to prove you are not afraid.